Muay Thai operates as an optimized system of biomechanical force generation, designed to extract maximum kinetic energy from the human frame. Within this framework, the systematic classification of the fists, elbows, knees, and feet is known as Charing Muay. This technical structure dictates how the body's 8 primary striking limbs are weaponized. Generating elite power requires a transition from isolated upper body muscle engagement to total whole body biomechanical alignment. To understand this system, we must deconstruct these kinematic techniques, map the anatomical hardware that powers them, and examine the physical conditioning required to forge that hardware. Striking power is a specific mathematical result, the fighter's total mass multiplied by their synchronized acceleration. The geometry of the Muay Thai stance is precise. The fighter places the lead foot forward with the rear foot set at a 45-degree angle, spacing them approximately shoulder-width apart. This half-facing orientation is a defensive necessity. Turning the shoulders 45 degrees away from the opponent reduces the exposed surface area of the body's vital targets by half. By centering their weight on the balls of both feet, the fighter creates a base for instantaneous vertical leaping or rapid forward kicking. This posture enables the golden rule of Muay Thai kinematics. The feet, hips, and shoulders must always move as a single locked unit. Twisting the torso independently of the hips creates energy leakage. This breaks the kinetic chain, causing the force generated by the legs to dissipate before impact. Proper one-unit rotation prevents this loss by locking the upper and lower body together, transferring the fighter's entire mass into the target. This synchronized rotation and the 45-degree stance are the non-negotiable foundations for every technique in the system. At the closest range of combat, fighters utilize Churng Sak or elbow strikes. The elbow is the shortest and sharpest weapon in the Muay Thai arsenal. Executing a horizontal elbow strike requires specific anatomical alignment. The point of impact is the olecranon, the sharp, dense bone at the bottom of the elbow joint. Aligning this point requires the fighter to swing with an open palm facing the target. This internal rotation of the forearm naturally forces the sharp olecranon bone to protrude forward for maximum cutting potential. At maximum range, fighters deploy Churn Tao, or kicks. The mid-level roundhouse targets the opponent's ribs and core, intended to batter the ribs and severely compromise the body's breathing structure. A more advanced long-range weapon is the snap thrust kick, historically known as the Yota Sin Tulp, or the horse warrior. While a standard push kick travels on a horizontal plane, the snap thrust kick utilizes a diagonal path, generated by simultaneously throwing the leg and twisting the hips. This diagonal trajectory bypasses common guard positions, channeling force directly into the solar plexus or the chin. In both close quarters and maximum range, weapon length dictates the specific kinematic chain a fighter must utilize. Closing the distance completely leads to the prom, or the clinch. Attempting to swim immediately for the opponent's neck is a common error that leaves the face exposed to incoming elbows. The biomechanically correct entry involves grabbing the opponent's arms at the bend of the elbow, pulling them down and across the knee. This control facilitates Churn Cow, or knee strikes. The Hanuman Tayarn, or flying knee, represents the most extreme application of this weapon. The mechanics rely on a forward leap off both feet. This forward momentum places the fighter's entire body weight behind the bone of the patella. Individual strikes gain effectiveness when linked into specific rhythms, such as the broken rhythm jab-cross-roundhouse combination. In this sequence, the right cross functions as a tactical feint. The fighter leaves the glove in the opponent's face to physically obscure their field of vision, creating an opening for the rear leg roundhouse kick. Calculated sequences like these leverage sensory overload, using vision-obscuring strikes to create openings for high-impact follow-ups. Striking power is built from the ground up, relying on a muscular structure that functions like a pyramid. The quadriceps and calves form the base of this pyramid, providing the force for vertical leaping and rapid weight shifting. The abdominal and lower back muscles act as the central transmission system, converting the kinetic energy from the legs into rotational torque. The latissimus dorsi, traps, and shoulders form the upper stabilizers. These muscle groups pull the opponent's posture down and safely decelerate the force of missed strikes. rigid forearms are essential at the end of the chain. They maintain the wrist alignment necessary to prevent energy leakage upon impact. A structural failure in any tier of this anatomical pyramid causes the entire kinetic chain to collapse. Mastering the kinematics requires forcing the body through task-specific physiological adaptations. Conditioning the upper pyramid involves daily repetition, pull-ups for the lats, upright rows for the traps, and fingertip push-ups for forearm density. Plyometric training, like bounding jumps, trains the central nervous system to trigger a sharp spike in fast-twitch muscle fiber recruitment, essential for maximizing striking velocity. Because these movements force the joints to absorb up to 20 times the body's weight, athletes must complete a 1 to 3 month strength program to establish a safe baseline for the joints. Beyond physical structure, fighters must address the psychological reflex to flinch or blink. This response is overridden through repetitive target drill exposure. Bone density is equally critical. Contrary to myths involving glass bottles or rolling pins, true structural integrity comes from controlled, heavy impact. The only biomechanically sound method for shin conditioning is repeated impact against heavy bags. Over years of training, microfractures trigger natural bone calcification, permanently increasing bone density. Elite Muay Thai is the result of kinematic software running on an anatomical pyramid deliberately hardened to withstand the extremes of human combat.